Good morning, crypto Twitter is Misty Crypto, spreading crypto with doctors showing its benefits to my generation. Shout out to all my people, Gen Z needs to be included. It's really that simple. We are savage, amazed, boss, zesty, making money at the same time, spread peace. I feel empty if you don't include Gen Z. About to change the world, so y'all better get ready. Misty Crypto, I'm never backing down. I got a wax account, you should say it out. So many NFTs, I think I lost count, and I'm only getting started. Yeah, I'm barely off the ground. Misty Crypto, you cannot stop me. My hands are made from diamonds, your hands fall like origami. Never be the boss of me. Bitcoin's all I need. When I say I'm zesty, that's just me talking honestly. Crypto and yum bomb marketplace. I wanna see the more. We gotta go through cyberspace. Leave this world without a trace. They pay for a different day, cause we partners in the cryptos didn't stay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I hope everybody's having the happiest of Fridays. And yes, I said Friday because we have work to get to this point, to the end of the week where we could sit down, chillax, and get zesty. If you guys are feeling zesty, if you're feeling the vibe, drop hundreds in the chat, drop a like, and subscribe to this YouTube channel because we try to get zesty every week. If you subscribe right now, your name will pop up in the top right corner. I think that's pretty cool. But before we jump into today's show, I would love to thank three amazing sponsors of the Miss Teen Crypto Show. So let's try this out. I tried a new command so that way it does it for me. Oh, that's so awesome. So we have Wax Blockchain absolutely killing the game, doing so much good stuff around here. Blockchain Brawlers, I think, is launching soon, so watch out for that. So the link to all of that is in the live chat and in the description of the video. Next, we have Nifty Blocks, absolutely killing the game, adding new features. So if you're on Wax and want to see the list of your tokens and your NFTs, Nifty Blocks just added that feature today, so check them out on niftyblocks.com. Lastly, we have Ballet Wallet, absolutely killing it. Ballet is great. I actually met Charlie Lee a few days ago, and he had their custom series wallet. If you want to check out what that looks like, it's on my Twitter. Today, we're actually giving away a free Ballet Real Series wallet. It is super cool, and if you guys want to check them out, it is balletcrypto.com. Stay tuned towards the end of the show for our zesty guest to give a cool keyword to enter into the chat to win this. And if you win, then just give us your Twitter handle and DM me on Twitter with your email. And let's jump into today's guest, Bill, CEO of Abra. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm so happy and excited to be here. This is like so cool. Let's get into it. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching your money talks for a while, and before Abra wasn't available in New York, my dad was a big fan, and it was just so easy to use. And I was watching all of these videos on Abra, and it's a very easy to use platform for people that are new. If you guys want to check out Abra, it is abra.com, link in the live chat and in the description. But Sir Bill, I really want to talk about you a little bit and learn more about you. What were you doing before crypto? What was your career like? What were your aspirations in life?
Well, I'm also from New York City, originally that area, New York, New Jersey, and I'm from the Bronx. And, I grew up relatively poor and, wanted to see the world, really. That was my ambition as a teen, was to basically get out and see the world. And I was pretty good at math and computer science and programming. At least we didn't call it computer science in high school, but I could program really well and I was pretty good at math. I said, okay, maybe I could parlay this into some kind of career where I could get out and see the world. And that's exactly what I did. I started working for the CIA in college as a teen and basically never looked back. I lived in DC for a while, then California where I am now, but I lived in Europe in between, and seeing the world has been a big passion that basically combines my passion for getting tech and kind of the internet out there, which was really the big driver for me in my 20s and 30s. And I discovered crypto super early, but it was really kind of an offshoot of everything that I've been doing my whole life. Like it all kind of culminated in crypto. And I was like, I've been waiting for this forever. And thank God, that it's here now. And so yeah, I mean, I have this kind of zest and zeal for seeing the world, which I'm super passionate about. Even at a more advanced middle age, I'm super passionate about still. And my kids seem to be catching on to the idea. And yeah, so it served me well. And crypto's global. It has no borders, right? I mean, that's one of the things I love about it. I have people on the show every week from Southeast Asia, South America, Eastern Europe, different states in the U.S. It's incredible, right? And they're all interacting with each other. They're actually helping each other. Sometimes yelling at each other. Usually nice, more nice than not. But they're actually on the live chat helping each other. It's fantastic to watch.
Oh, absolutely. The community is everything, especially in the chat right now. Shout out to the chat. You guys are so amazing. There's so much zest in there. I don't know if you see the zest going on in there, Bill, but everyone's very excited.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, they're so cool. I love the chat. Shout out to everybody there. And so it's really cool to know you've grown up in the Bronx because I'm not too far away. So, living in New York, it's very different. Do you mind if I ask you what high school you went to?
So I was out of there at a very early age. So my mother went to high school in the Bronx. She grew up on DeKalb Avenue there. I don't remember which high school. So we went to Fort Lee when I was super young, and then I ended up in high school in Bergen County, where most of my family still lives now. They're either in the city or upstate New York or northern Jersey, kind of in that, you can draw a kind of circle around where most of them are. And I'm kind of the black sheep that moved away and sought his dream in Silicon Valley. And then in Europe for many years. So, but yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, it wasn't a bad place to grow up, but I didn't really get to see the world. Yeah. And that was my dream. And so, I still keep in touch. Facebook is not good for a lot, but it is pretty good for that. Exactly. Instagram, that kind of thing. But yeah, so, I'm sure you're more up to speed on what it's like right now. To be in the city, especially during COVID when I didn't get back to see my family as much as I wanted to.
Yeah, the city was crazy for a while. It's starting to let back up though. Like there's a lot of events coming here. NFT NYC is coming to town in June. The last NFT NYC in November was absolutely killer. But at least, you grew up with good bagels. So, you grew up.
Exactly, that's right. The water was the same. And my team was at NFT NYC because we have a lot of Abra folks in New York now. We didn't pre-COVID, but we've done a hiring binge, and for some reason we've done really well in the New York, New Jersey area with our hiring, and which has been fantastic. So I'll be spending a lot more time there in the coming months.
Definitely should grab some pizza, grab those bagels, go to Little Italy, get the good pasta. You know the vibe. You know exactly what to do. I
have a strategy now. So I have a big loop I do around Central Park so that I can eat all the crap that I usually don't find in California, and then I'll go to town and eat what I want, and then just run it off in Central Park, which is fun in the summer and not so good in the winter.
Oh, no, not at all. It's very nice in the summer. It's so green. It's so pretty. They have like the horse and carriages going around. You have all the photographers, which is really fun. What's one spot what's one of your like main spots? You're like, all right, New York, I'm hitting this place.
Well, the park, always. I actually do a lot, even when I'm not running and I'm in the city and I don't have meetings in person, I'll actually do meetings walking in the park, or because it's too loud to do it outside on like Fifth Avenue or Sixth Avenue. Oh, yeah. But if you're kind of in the middle of the park, away from the side streets, you're not annoying the other person with the street noise. And so I'll do that sometimes if I'm working. And then usually what I like to do, and I started doing this in my college days, is on at least one day on the weekend, I'll start at Battery Park City and walk all the way to North Central Park in one day, and just pick random places to stop. And there's usually a few go-to places I have in Little Italy that I like, or I'll stop at Wohop or something like that for lunch if I make it there in time. But yeah, I like to do that at least once on the weekends when I'm there. Yeah, it's just my thing.
Yeah, where's your favorite spot in Little Italy?
Oh God, so many. I mean, Ferraris is the classic. So my great grandparents were bakers in Little Italy. So I'm half Sicilian and half German, basically.
Get out
and
of here.
I was always told that I was half Dutch, but I found out recently via 23andMe that was all nonsense. And well, that's what I was told by 23andMe. I tend to believe them. But yeah, so they were bakers. We grew up with all of those pastries. in the house all the time, and so we don't get those anywhere else really. I don't even bother trying. I mean, now you do a little bit in like LA, high-end restaurants. They try to have like a New York vibe sometimes, but
Yeah.
by and large, I have to go back to New York to get it, and I love it. So it makes it kind of special too. And Hoboken is pretty good for that now too.
Yeah.
There's a couple there that have gotten really good. Yeah.
Yeah, Ferrara's, I was hoping you'd say that. That is like my top place. Strawberry shortcake from there is my top favorite cake. And like you walk in there and it's just like the smell is amazing. So
Yeah.
growing up
Yeah.
with that, oh my gosh.
The fresh cannoli pastries are amazing, and a lot of people like outside of that area don't understand like how to separate them, and they get all soggy, and I hate that. Oh my god, I hate that so much. And you have to make it like a minute or two before you're going to eat it, ideally, or at least like no more than a couple of hours if you're bringing them somewhere.
Yeah, like you would like the cream separate, like the filler.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. The soggy shells, it just makes me angry, like thinking about it.
Yeah, like I know they're talking about biscuits in the chat. Like Emma, you don't want a soggy biscuit. Like not at all. Like
No,
you,
unless your goal is to dip, in the cappuccino, which is okay. Not my thing, but I don't frown on it. I'm not a dipping snob.
no, I guess not. I mean, good cannolis are everything. I know, like, I go to the San Gennaro feast. I don't know if you've done the San Gennaro feast, but
I mean, like 100 times. I mean, every year.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
for you guys at home that don't know about the San Gennaro feast, so Little Italy is a nice spot in Manhattan, all Italian restaurants everywhere, and they have this, like, 1 week every year where they have just street vendors, all the restaurants lined up, like, with carts outside, like, a little carnival type thing where they have those type of carts just everywhere. Sausage and peppers, mozzarella sticks, rice balls, cannolis, like everything you can even think of is at
Yep.
the San Gennaro
So
feast.
good, so good.
Oh,
Oh,
warms
yeah.
my heart. Oh my gosh. I get so excited talking about food. So you worked for the CIA, you said, right?
I did. I worked for the government for about 5 years, or maybe 4 years and change. NASA and the CIA, and I was so I'm like I mentioned, I'm pretty good at math and computer science, and I did a bunch of projects related to cryptography and other research in my very early career. And that also helped get me to California. I thought I might go to grad school to get like a PhD or something, and tried it for a very short time, and it wasn't my calling. So I ended up coming back to New York for a short stint at Goldman in New York, and I did that for a couple of maybe 3 years, and that was fun. It also wasn't my calling, but it was great because I got to learn that it wasn't my calling, and then it was a toolbox that I had now that I could use because I had basically learned all this really amazing stuff working there, which actually helps me a lot now in my job, like all these years later. So I made my way back to Silicon Valley, and my passion has always been tech and the integration of tech into everyday lives, and worked on the early internet, basically what as like the Chrome browser now, and kind of precursors to that at Netscape and other places. So yeah, so it was really my passion.
Wow, you were deep into the internet. Like that's like intense. So you got into the CIA, you were doing cryptography. Like what was that like so early on? Like that must have been like learning all this tech and then just like seeing how you ended up using it later. That's just a lot.
The environment was fun, but we didn't have the technology that you use to send secure messages today. Like if you're using Instagram or WhatsApp, or if you have used an agent like WeChat, that tech didn't exist yet. And so this idea of having a public and private key, which is the underpinnings for like Bitcoin and Ethereum, didn't exist. And so your ability to actually have kind of internet-based secure messaging, it just wasn't a thing. And we kind of invented that at Netscape. And so that was really kind of the revolution for kind of a secure private internet, which was like, for me, just changed everything. Because you now all of a sudden you could pay with a credit card, or you can send a secure message to a friend, or you could have access to your bank account. All the things that you assume have always been there weren't there 40, 50 years ago, because there was no way to do this securely.
Whoa, so you were a part of like basically securing like our text messages. and like,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
So if you ever so when you put a web address into the browser, there's HTTP, right? And
Yeah.
then there's HTTPS, which is the encrypted version of HTTP. The S stands for secure. And we invented that at Netscape originally in order to process credit card transactions through e-commerce sites. And now, of course, it's in everything. You wouldn't use the internet without it because everybody can read what you're doing if you're not. And it's also the basis for even for Bitcoin. Bitcoin uses that. We call it public-private key crypto. Crypto doesn't mean cryptocurrencies; it means cryptography. Anyway, that was the basis for all of this, for everything you're talking about here in crypto and traditional banking. It all goes back to kind of that seminal moment of what we did when I was a kid.
Mind blown right now, absolutely mind blown, because you've seen like almost like every, like, I guess, payment phase of the internet, like even more so than that, but you've seen the
Yeah.
progression of payments. I mean, like there's still people I know that still use their checkbooks and things like that. So I mean, it's really cool that you were there at the very very beginning, and then you found your way over to California. What like, where did your career like lead to in California? You were in the CIA for a while, so how
Yeah.
did that?
So California, Silicon Valley was really where it was at for
Yeah.
everything related to tech, right? I mean, Miami's becoming that a little bit for crypto in the U.S. now, but still, I mean, where I live, the headquarters is here for Apple, Facebook, Google, Cisco, Oracle, Yahoo, just and Twitter. List goes Salesforce.com. List goes on and on, and they're all here within 20 miles of my house, and so. The energy level here, when we were in our heyday, was incredible. You could go to downtown Palo Alto, and it would kind of feel like, I don't know if you've been to South Beach, where a lot of crypto people will hang out, and way higher energy level than that, because
Wow.
every entrepreneur in the world wanted to be there, because there was a 10-block radius where all the venture capital was. And that's how you got your company funded. If you got a new idea, you needed to be in Silicon Valley. That's where the money was. That's where the hackers were. That's where the developers were, the designers were, et cetera, et cetera. And so obviously I wanted to be there. And so I never left once I got here. And a lot of my friends who are in crypto have left because they didn't have any ties here, especially the single ones, and because it's easy. The taxes here are insane. So if you are doing a lot in crypto and you have a lot of crypto and you eventually want to sell, you probably don't want to sell while you're living here if it matters, if the taxes matter a lot to you.
Yeah.
For me, I think quality of life is more important. But for a lot of my friends, they've moved like to Puerto Rico, where they pay no federal taxes and no state taxes, right? Or Miami, where at least they pay no state taxes. And so, I don't know, for a lot of your team viewers, that may not matter right now. But once you start saving that crypto and the price keeps going up, eventually, you don't want the government taking half of what you've made. And so that's kind of one of the downsides of being here, but the quality of life is so good. I mean, it was 80 degrees and sunny outside yesterday, going on a walk, doing some work calls on Zoom, and everybody's looking, where are you in the background? It's so beautiful, and I just can't get that anywhere else.
You can't complain, especially because there's In-N-Out in California, so definitely cannot complain about that. Oh,
Yeah.
In-N-Out. Do you like In-N-Out?
My kids love it. It's not my thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of a hamburger snob, and there's just I don't know. It's I don't mind it, but like my kids go gaga over In-N-Out, and I'm just like, it's good, but yeah, I don't know.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'll be friends with your kids. It's fine. It's
there you go.
fine.
Yeah.
I love In-N-Out.
Like their
so
favorite meal. It's literally their favorite meal. Like it's crazy.
if I was on the West Coast, it'd be my favorite too. But being in California, it's definitely a very good way of life. Very chill. Like you said, it's always warm. You could always like go outside for that run. You can't do that when you're here. Central Park is like ice half the year. So You definitely have a good life in California. Plus, like you said, there's a lot of tech people. Are there any like significant tech people that you've met, especially like growing Abra there, right? Like it had to be like kind of cool to do
Yeah, I
that.
mean, I've had these friends for decades, right? I mean, I work with Mark Andreessen, who started Netscape, and he's famous now in the crypto world, but he really became famous in our Netscape days, God knows how many years ago now. And there's people that I've come up with in tech through, companies that some of your viewers may know, like the CEO of BitGo, which is now part of Galaxy, which is another crypto company. We worked together as kids in Netscape. And so, yeah, it's really amazing. Like there's people there's a big game developer conference that happens every year in SF, and it's going on right now. And I used to run a game company before crypto started, the crypto market started. And a lot of those people are in crypto now because of NFTs,
Yeah.
right? Because it's kind of all coming around again. And a bunch of us had dinner this week, and I'm like, we've been friends in this tech world for 15, 20 years, and have seen, like, to your point, all these like different like phases of development of the space. And now with the NFT stuff, it's kind of bringing crypto back into entertainment and games, as opposed to just payments, which is really a lot of fun, especially for those of us who've been doing it for a while, because it brings it all together.
So you had a gaming company too?
Yeah, so this was actually a precursor to Abra. So before the iPhone, I don't know if you ever had one, but there used to be these, remember the feature phones, like the flip phones that everybody used to carry? Every once in a while, usually it's older folks that can't see well, have the ones with the big buttons, but we also used to carry these flip phones that you would close like a clamshell, right? And on those phones, you could install ringtones, and the screens were tiny. I mean, really tiny. But you could install ringtones and wallpaper for the background, and you can run games on them. And we had a company that developed a wallet platform for building games on those phones before the iPhone, before Android. And that led to a lot of the ideas for being able to use those wallets for moving money around, which eventually became Abra. And much later, once there was an iPhone and an Android phone, those phones, you couldn't really do much. The games were basically really big pixels moving around the screen like little boxes, but it was fun, and I learned a lot, and made a ton of contacts and friends in the gaming space, who I still work with today. Some of them are customers of Abra now. So.
That's hilarious. Like you literally have seen every progression, including gaming. To get into that space too, it's like a cool niche. You know what I mean? And
it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, especially because you were like building like the first mobile games basically.
Exactly. Not only that, I didn't come from, a lot of the people I would hire were already in the gaming space, and I wasn't. I was basically working on Internet 1.0 with the browsers and stuff like that, and so I had to learn the gaming space, and I just, some of my best friends were from that world and still are, and we have this reward token we've created called C Perks at Abra, Crypto Perks. Mm-hmm. That's managed by a foundation in Switzerland. I hired the head of my gaming company in Europe to run the foundation in Switzerland, and spun it out, and he runs it, and it's awesome. And Abra simply gets a grant of those tokens to give to our users at Abra. Again, folks from the gaming space. I was on the phone with another venture capitalist who used to invest exclusively in gaming companies. He doesn't anymore, and now he invests exclusively in crypto companies. And to him, it's like the next evolution. But now, of course, he's super excited about the NFT space, which I'm guessing a lot of your viewers are as well. And it's all related.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Especially a lot of people coming from the gaming space, it would only make sense to kind of understand the whole process of NFTs, like, why they're a thing. Like, you have like the ability to trade your assets and actually own your assets, and add more utility than just having it in the game. So absolutely. I'm a big fan of NFTs, literally giving NFTs away throughout the show. Guys, 5 more likes for another NFT. Yes.
Okay, awesome. That's a big focus of mine right now, is actually eliminating all of the complexity of like MetaMask and all those apps, and bringing NFTs and DeFi into Abra in a way that you don't have to understand. Like, we call it MetaMask madness, because it takes like
I like that.
20 steps basically, between having to know how gas works and buying your Ethereum, spending all the money on gas, signing transactions to log into a website. Nobody understands what any of that means, right? You shouldn't have to. And so we've been working really hard behind the scenes for over a year now to figure out how to make that really accessible for the average user, so they don't have to understand anything I just said. They can just go to an OpenSea or a Super Rare, connect their Abra wallet, and behind the scenes, it's doing whatever it has to do to make sure you can buy that NFT. And it's been a big passion project of mine for over a year now, and I think we're getting close. I'm really excited about it.
That's amazing. That's so awesome. Like, you guys are building. Gotta love Abra. Guys, check out abra.com in the live chat. Yeah, that's so interesting because, like, one of the reasons why I love Wax amongst many is because, a lot of for new people, it's easy because you just go to wallet.wax.io and sign in with like your Google. You could do an email password, and then you can move on and get zesty with it, and then get Anchor or maybe even Wombat. I think you could get your own private keys and just move up that level. So you have that intro, which I think is great. So giving that easy accessibility to users is perfect. And speaking of accessibility, Abra is great for new people coming into the space. Do you want to describe the ease of use of Abra?
Sure. So Abra is really meant to be, it's kind of like Robinhood. As a matter of fact, Forbes actually called us like the Robinhood of crypto. It's meant to be like a super easy to use. You download it from the App Store and you're up and running in a few minutes. There's like 100+ different cryptocurrencies you can buy. You can trade between them. If you're holding like Bitcoin or Ethereum or dollars, you can earn a lot of interest on it by using our interest account. If you're holding Bitcoin and you don't want to sell it, but it's gone up a lot in value, you can actually take a loan against the Bitcoin. So you just keep holding the Bitcoin. We'll hold it for you, and we'll give you like a bunch of dollars that you can either withdraw to your bank account, you can use to buy more crypto, whatever you want to do. And so we really want to be like that super simple, really easy to access, easy to use, go-to app for everything crypto, right? Whether it's buying and trading or eventually NFTs, which we'll be doing this year, DeFi as well, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how we look at it, right? I think that Robinhood for crypto, description is a really apt one.
Yeah, I mean, accessibility is everything. I know a lot of kids my age, they have access to Robinhood, so they do use it because it's just easy to get onto and start buying stocks or crypto. And I think Abra is great, actually stepping into this space. You got to do your KYCs and you get in and you're perfect. You're all good to go. And you could start trading. You could swap onto Abra too, right?
That's right. So you can literally go between any two cryptocurrencies in the app. You just press exchange. You say, I want to go from Ethereum to Luna or from Wax to Bitcoin or Bitcoin to Wax, and it just does it for you in the background.
That is so awesome. I love that. And so we have the interest, wait, where's my mouse? We have the interest things, and then what else do we have going on Abra? Trade, earn, borrow, buy crypto on the web. So you could buy it on the website too.
Yeah, we have a marketplace on the web for people who just want to, like if you have a credit card and you want to buy, it's more expensive than doing it directly in the app. But for some people who only have a credit card, especially outside the US, they like that. But for people in the US, if you have a bank account, you're definitely better off using that because you're paying almost nothing. And so it's definitely a better approach. Bitcoiner here, I saw wrote a comment that Abra gives you your seed phrase, which is true. We're actually managing the crypto for you, but we give you a seed phrase so that you can delete the app and securely reinstall it later if you want, without Abra storing a login and password. So that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. I've used every app out there, all of them, and I just really designed Abra to be the app that I wanted. And I sat down with my team like a couple of years ago and I said, okay, let's build what we want for ourselves. What don't we like about what's out there? And we were like, well, why don't we have one app where we can trade between any two cryptocurrencies, one app where we can earn interest on everything we're holding, one app where, hey, maybe we can borrow dollars against our Ethereum without having to sell it, so that if the price goes up, we still get the benefit, but we can access some of the gains now. And we ended up with Abra, with what it is now. And now, of course, like I said, we're adding lots more stuff to the app, especially in this kind of new NFT area, which is a big focus of mine. And it just continues to be what we want for ourselves. And fortunately, there's a lot of other people who want the same thing. So it all works out.
Absolutely. That is so amazing. That's what I really love about you guys too. You sat down and you were like, okay, I know what's out there and this is what I want, so this is what I'm going to build. And a lot of people relate to that. It's just you have to build something that's easy, that's just simple for people to use. And I love the swap feature. Like just being able to like not have to leave the app to do a lot of things makes everyone's life so much easier. So, Sir Bill, I have so much respect for you. You're like an internet payment god.
Well, I don't know about that, but I've been around long enough to see a lot, or have seen a lot. And look, I think the key to building a consumer product on the internet for mobile, for smartphones, iPhone, Android, is to be passionate about it for yourself. Exactly. It's very hard to build a product that you don't care about, right? But if you think that, oh, a million other people want this, but I don't really care because it's not something I would use, you're probably not the right person, to build that product. And if you're personally really excited about using it and you would want to use it every day, and I use Abra every day, then we're the right people to build it, right? And I think that's the biggest secret, not even secret, I'm telling you, but that's the key, the biggest key to our success, I think, is one is patience, and two is really focusing on what we want for ourselves.
Patience is key. That's something I also want to discuss. How, you've seen a lot of market movements, I guess. How do you keep your zen, especially with, running Abra and all the adventures you have?
So that's a tough one. We were, when COVID started, it was like March of 2020. So like really 2 years ago, we were less than 20 people. We're 130 people now. And so we've gone from thousands of users to a couple of million users. We manage close to, like $1.5 billion in our interest accounts. And it's growing. We also have corporate customers now, like businesses that are depositing with us to either hold Bitcoin, like real companies that want to hold Bitcoin, or deposit dollars because they can earn, 8 to 10% interest on their dollars, which obviously they can't do in a bank. So this has created, and our business is 24/7, right? Exactly. When you're investing in stocks, the stock market is closed more than it's open. Right, do the math. It opens from 9 to 4 or something, right?
Yeah.
That's 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's 35 hours a week that the stock market is open. That's it, 35 hours a week. Abra is open 24/7. You can trade 24/7. Interest rate, the movement of the price is 24/7. So it can be a little stressful in that regard, because you're always on. It's very hard to shut down. Like when I go on vacation, it's like, okay, I have to plan it. I have to make sure everybody knows, okay, please don't bother me during this time. But if there's an emergency, here's what to do. And whereas if you're running a bank, you go on vacation, it is what it is, right? Or if you're running the stock, like a broker or whatever, it's open hours, close hours, there's no emergency. So when you have a business that has no closing hours, it's a different set of responsibilities, and obviously we're managing other people's money, right? And that's a whole other kind of level of responsibility which we have to take very, very seriously, and that's the nature of the beast, as they say.
Absolutely. That is a lot to handle. It could be hard to keep your zen. You're going to have to go out and do some yoga, go out for that run every once in a while just to work off that stress, because crypto already, being the average person being involved in crypto as, just a person that could, for example, just DCA, that's already a lot. Keeping up with crypto in general is a lot. I mean, I was away in LA and the days I was traveling, actually sitting on the plane, I felt like I missed everything, because this space is fast moving. There's new news every 5 minutes. You get off of Twitter for 5 hours, you jump back on and everyone's tweeting about one huge thing that happens. So running Abra, it has to be a handful, but also it has to be very, satisfactory in a way, right? Just because you are helping so many people.
It's very rewarding. I'll get these at the end of a stressful day. I'll go on Twitter and look at DMs. I keep them open, or on Instagram, and I'll get DMs. I'll invariably get a message from somebody in Southeast Asia or in South America or Eastern Europe, oh my God, you've helped me so much. Or I use Abra as my personal bank account, and it's really changed my life. that is incredibly gratifying. It's not something that I actually foresaw when I started the company, that we would be touching all of these people in so many different countries in such a fundamental way. I mean, we have all these millionaires that use Abra, obviously, to store their crypto, and they make interest, and that's fine. I get to meet a lot of famous people, but I actually enjoy the conversation and that narrative of the people in other countries where I'm really changing their life. If you're worth millions of dollars and you're putting a couple $100,000 in crypto, I'm not really changing your life. I might make it easy for you to do it, and I hope you'll do it with Abra, and I hope you'll talk about it. But if you've never had a bank account and you've basically had cash under the mattress your whole life, and you live in some poor country, and all of a sudden you have this account on your smartphone that you've never had before, it's a fundamental change to your whole life, and that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. You're changing people's lives. I mean, like you said, a lot of people, like, even a dollar, it matters. And, just the amount of people that you're giving access to crypto is absolutely amazing. I mean, I've heard so many stories about even, play to earn games just completely changing people's lives because it's something that is new. It's something that they actually have access to, and it gives them like this even playing field, right?
Yeah. So I've heard stories about this Axie Infinity thing, like in the Philippines, for example.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have a few 100,000 customers in the Philippines, and here's what they're doing. I didn't know this until recently. So you need to basically somehow get this currency, all right, in order to get in the game, and then you can earn more. I guess is I've never played it, but so buying in small amounts and moving it around is very difficult because of the Ethereum gas fees, that are involved in using the network. So what a lot of people were doing is in Asia, XRP is actually used a lot, Ripple, because there's no fees, or the fees are tiny. So what they're doing is, we don't support XRP in the US because of this whole ridiculous government lawsuit, but in Asia too. So a lot of our Filipino users are buying XRP for cash. So they'll go to a store with cash, like a 7-Eleven. And in the 7-Eleven in Manila, in the Philippines, you can actually deposit into your Abra wallet with cash. We don't need that in the US because almost everybody has a bank account. So they'll go into the store with cash. They'll leave the store with a bunch of Philippine pesos in their Abra app. They'll convert it in the Abra app to XRP, and then they'll use that to play their Axie Infinity game because they can move the XRP around at no cost. They don't have to pay this gas fee. And when I heard this, I was like, how did they figure this out? This is incredible. And when I talked to them, they're like, yeah, Abra is the best and easiest way to do this. And we desperately want to play this game because we can earn more Axie tokens, which obviously we can sell. And so it's becoming income for us. And if you make $25 a day in Manila or out in the outskirts of the Philippines playing this game, that's a lot of money for them. And so when I heard this, I was just, mine was blown, right? And so, it's things like that I hear all the time, where the community has figured out ways to take advantage of this that we never thought of.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. I mean, I know a lot of people are playing Axie Infinity in the Philippines, and the fact that Abra is that gateway to help them do that and earn that passive income is absolutely amazing. And that is such a great story to hear, especially because, like I said before, the accessibility, like the barriers to entry are very high a lot of the time. So the fact that people could come and flock to Abra, ooh, that is beautiful. I think we've been here for a while. Do you mind picking a keyword to give away a Zesty Ballet Series wallet?
I mean, is Abra too, or Abracadabra, like, is that too, like, in your face for Abra, or is that?
I don't think I saw anyone type the word Abra in the chat besides me.
No, actually, let's go with how about Ukraine? Can we use Ukraine? Because we have a lot of employees in the Ukraine, and I want to give a shout out to them. And so, is it okay if we use Ukraine?
Of course, I'm going to enter that in on my bot, Ukraine. Okay, guys, if you enter Ukraine into the chat, your name will come up, and I'm going to give you guys like 2 minutes to do so. In the meantime, I'm going to drop another free NFT. So guys, get your scanners out, get your clickers out. All right, here we go. There we go. And if we get 10 more likes, if we hit 35 likes, I'll drop another NFT as well. But while we're waiting for everyone to drop their zesty word into the chat, do you mind sharing with everybody what makes you so passionate about Bitcoin? What do you love most about Bitcoin?
You know, it's really about access, and I think you used this word before, and that really resonates with me. So there's a couple of things that Bitcoin does that are fundamentally different than what I've grown up with. You know, I've seen, like you said, all these phases of payments and online banking. I used to basically do a lot of work in developing markets, places like Haiti, rural Mexico, rural Philippines, where people would actually receive money transfers from their family in the US. So people immigrate to the US, work, and then send the money home, and they support their family. And there's a lot of companies like Western Union that charge huge fees for doing that. So poor people are basically getting effectively raped with these ridiculous fees, okay? And I was looking for years for a way to solve that problem. And that was my first exposure, or my first thought, I should say, when I first read the Bitcoin white paper like 11, 12 years ago, was that, wow, this system could actually replace banks in Western Union for people to send money home. Which, by the way, is exactly what's been happening with Ukraine the last couple of weeks, where people have been sending money, donating money directly to the Ukraine government in Bitcoin, bypassing the banking system. So the money gets there effectively in seconds and minutes. And that was really the awakening for me, that we could finally have a way to send money home and to do banking with no banks, no middleman, no government off switch. Then over time, I realized that not only did we not have to trust the banks in the middle, but we had a system where you couldn't just arbitrarily print more money, right? So you have better banking and you have better money policy, or monetary policy, we call it, all at the same time. It was like, how is this possible? This is like, you know, it's like the Holy Grail, the Sistine Chapel of money. I mean, who came up with this? It's incredible. And so over a few months of digging in, I had like these multiple aha moments where I really realized that this is going to change everything. And I would start talking about it. And remember, this is like 2010, 2011. And people are just like, oh, come on, leave me alone. This is ridiculous. No one's ever going to use this. It's worthless. You know, it was trading for a penny and then $1. And then slowly, just this big wheel, like the big snowball falling down the mountain, getting bigger and bigger. Over the years, the snowball got bigger and bigger and bigger, and here we are. And I just was fortunate that I got exposed really early, and because of my tech background and my banking background, I could kind of understand why this was such a big deal. And I was hooked, as you can tell, and passionate really from day one.
Wow, you've been a Bitcoiner for like 12 years now? That's like almost since the Genesis block.
Yeah, so I think I read the white paper like 3 or 4 months after it was released.
What?
Right around the time of the Genesis, because I was on those mailing lists where Satoshi published the white paper. And then about 10 years ago, I don't know if you or your viewers watched or know of TED, this TED conference. They have really famous videos online if you go to TED.com.
Uh-huh.
And I gave a talk there on Bitcoin back in 2012 or 2011 or 12. And it was the first public kind of presentation on Bitcoin. I think it was trading for like $1 or $1.50 or something. And no one I would say 95% of the audience had never heard of it. And I was like, I didn't even know how to present it. I mean, today you kind of know, you talk about mining, what it is, talk about like what a Bitcoin wallet is. It's you know, there's kind of a way to present it. Like you could explain it in basic terms to your friends, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But then no one had ever presented this. The only thing we had was the white paper, which most people can't understand. And so I said, I can't use this to explain it. So I had to make something up. And that was like the beginning for me of like my deep dive, because I had to be able to explain it to everyone else. And so I spent months trying to figure out how to do that. And like, that was just the beginning of just going down. I was Alice going down the rabbit hole.
Again, you don't cease to blow my mind. Like, you have done absolutely everything. So you did an actual TED Talk.
Yeah, it's out there. You can search YouTube. I mean,
What?
it's horrible in quality because it was like 10 or 11 years ago. But they didn't publish it online until like a couple of years ago. It wasn't online, and finally, for some reason, they put it online. But it's there. Yeah, you can just search, you'll find it. It's and again, you look at it, you go, yeah, it's okay. Like the quality of the talk, it's not great because we have so many better ways and so many more tools now to explain Bitcoin and crypto that we didn't have 10 years ago.
I see that they posted it January 29th, 2018. So
Yeah,
that's a while. Like that was like
yeah.
what,
A
6
bunch
years
of
after
us,
you did it?
yeah, a bunch of us complained for a long time. Like, why don't you just put it online? And I think that they haven't really focused on crypto at TED, which has been very disappointing to me. And so
Yeah.
I think they were hesitant to do it, but finally they just did it. I don't know.
What a random time too. Like that's so random. I
Yeah.
mean, at least it's up now because I'm definitely gonna watch it after this. Like you, like it's like everyone's like, oh, like welcome to my TED talk. Like no, he did an actual TED talk, so boo-hoo. So okay, I'm ready to roll the dice. So whoever wins, DM me on Twitter with your email and drop your twitter.com/here. So that way, I know it's definitely you. Oh, Waxy Paxy, you have won, Waxy Paxy. If someone could collect your twitter.com or I can do it, drop it in the chat here and then DM me on Twitter with your email. Yeah, all right, I got you. Waxy Paxy, congratulations. Wow, this is so fun. But yeah, for that is so interesting. The TED Talk. I can't believe they posted it 6 years later. And you know, do you plan on going for another one? How do you even get into TED?
So I'm a member. I'm not going this year because I have a conflict, but I've been going to the conference for almost 10 years now. Actually, almost 15. So I was going long before Bitcoin existed, and there's been a lot of famous talks there. Al Gore gave a famous talk. So when he lost to President Bush in that election before 9/11, then it went to the Supreme Court, and he gave a famous TED talk afterwards. I was there for that. Tony Robbins gave a famous talk there. And so I've seen a lot of those talks. I never thought of actually giving a talk. And then I was just happened to be talking about this new Bitcoin thing at a dinner, and with a couple of people who work for TED. They heard it and said, you should do kind of a short talk on this because I think this could be interesting because it's a lot of techies that go to TED. A lot of my Silicon Valley venture capital friend types go there. And yeah, it worked out. I never thought we'll see. Maybe they'll have me do a follow-up someday. I have no idea.
They definitely should because like a lot has changed, and I'm surprised TED out of like all I guess events wouldn't cover crypto because they're so ahead of everything.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the email address of the person who runs TED right here in the chat, chris@ted.com, and you're all going to send Chris an email to say we need to get Bill back on the TED stage to give a follow-up presentation on what's happening with crypto, with Bitcoin and Ethereum and NFTs. And Ted, you need to Chris Anderson, you need to get on it. And I'm sure if you tell him that you heard it on the Miss Teen Crypto Show, it's going to go a long way. So I would strongly encourage all of you to do that.
Yes, drop his email in the chat. We're all gonna send an email to Sir Chris, and we're gonna have him put you back on the TED stage. I would love to see that because I really would love some crypto TED talks, like even about NFTs and all of this stuff. Like this is such a new industry, and it deserves to be covered, especially because, like you said, there are a lot of tech people that go to TED. So I would figure.
Well, absolutely, the NFT part changes everything because TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design. And now the NFT world, because it's so heavily focused on art and digital art, brings the design elements into it in a way that just Bitcoin and Ethereum on their own were much more about the tech, about money. And now, of course, NFTs are all about, right now at least, digital art. And I think it's awesome. So I'm pretty sure that that's going to come around again. There are artists who can talk to that stuff better than I can. But I can certainly talk to how people are using it and the tech and how it's evolved and where it's going. And I'm sure it's going to happen.
Yeah, and especially because you were interested in gaming and everything like that. Do you see a big future for NFTs, like, outside of gaming even?
Yeah, I mean, look, right now, a lot of it is collectibles, which is a form of gaming, right? So you have kind of like your digital Pokemon card kind of concepts. I have a friend who runs Topps, which is the baseball card company's NFT division, and he and I talk about it, and they're still trying to figure it out. They don't really know like what people want to do with NFT baseball cards yet. Even though he's trying, right? He's running a bunch of experiments and selling like, the Topps version of an NFT Mickey Mantle card, for example. But that's not really that exciting. I think there's way more interesting things you can do with NFTs, and everybody's trying to figure it out. There's a few things that I love. Like there's this concept of what we call generative art inside the NFT. So there's basically two kind of camps of NFTs right now that are art. One where you get rights to an image that is stored somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you would basically say like, I have this picture of like the New York skyline that I've morphed into this really fancy digital image, and I'm going to digitally sign something in an NFT that says that you have the rights to own this image, whatever that means. There's a second type of NFT that's called generative art. And generative art is really interesting to me because the art itself is inside the NFT. So there's computer code inside the NFT that actually creates what you're seeing. That's why it's called generative art, meaning it's generated by the NFT itself. And so when you get the NFT, you're actually getting computer code that generates the art, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's something that you couldn't do before NFTs, at least not easily. At least you couldn't prove that you own it. The whole point of an NFT is you can prove that you own it. So I don't know, like if your dad was a sports collector, but like in the baseball card world, if you get like an autograph that's officially signed by someone, or a baseball card that maybe somebody put their signature on, there's this company called Steiner's that will actually send you a paper certificate with a signature on it and a hologram. And that proves that it's actually a genuine autograph or a genuine baseball card or a genuine photo with an autograph. That's what an NFT is. An NFT is just a digitally signed document that says you own this. That's all it is. Now, what's cool about the NFT versus the paper version is that digitally signed document that proves you own it can actually have code inside of it that generates what you see, right? Meaning it generates the image itself. And that's what we call generative art. And there's a few generative artists that I'm following now. And it's so cool what they're doing. And it really is changing the way we consume media, or I think is about to change in a huge way. And that's really exciting to me.
Absolutely. And, artists especially are benefiting so much from NFTs, just being able to be their own gallery. Bitcoin, you could be your own bank. NFTs, you could be your own gallery, you could be your own store, or just completely own your assets. We need to decentralize that end too. So it's extremely important. And I'm super happy that Abra, you guys are working hard at, integrating your own wallet and, entering that Web3 space and making it accessible for people.
That's it. That's what it's about. It's all about accessibility for me. And we just want to bring this to 1 billion people, this crypto tech, whether it's for NFTs, for being your bank account. Like I said, we literally want to bring it to 1 billion people.
Exactly. And you're going to be doing that very soon. And, I'm just so excited for you guys at Abra because you guys are doing so much as well. And you guys are growing exponentially. And I'm just super happy for you. And I know you're heading to a few events, right?
Yeah. I'm going to be at the NFT show in LA next week. I'm heading from there to Miami. There's all kinds of stuff going on in Miami for that crypto week. After that, that's the first week of April. Mm-hmm. So I'll be there for like 8 days. We're having a big party during the Bitcoin conference. There's another NFT conference there. There's a DeFi event. It's just crazy how much is going on. And we have a lot of people at Abra that are based in Miami, so I'll get to see them. And we have a bunch of people based in LA. So look, now that the lockdowns are kind of coming to an end, it's great to be able to get on a plane again and go see people in person. The Zoom works obviously really well. This is great, but seeing people in person and giving them a high five and a hug is pretty good too.
Oh, the crypto people hugs are the best. Oh my gosh, literally love that. And I hope I get to see you in Miami. I'll be down there as well the first week of April. So hope to catch you down there in the Abra team. That would be awesome.
Absolutely. We'll get you to our party and you get to meet the team.
Oh, that'll be awesome. Oh my gosh, there's gonna be an Abra party, guys. We'll be turning up with Sir Bill and the Abra team. Bill, thank you so much for coming on today. Are there any social links you would like to share or anything like that? Where can people find you?
Sure. I'm on Twitter at Bill Barhydt, and I'll put that in the live chat right here.
Awesome.
I'm on Instagram at Bill Bar. I'll put that in here as well. And then Abra is Abra Global. But of course, just go to abra.com and download the app. That's going to be the easiest way to get going.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. Bill, you are an amazing person, and you've done so many things in terms of the internet and in life. You've been all over the world. You've been to Europe. You've been on the east to the west coast, living in that Silicon Valley life. Disliking In-N-Out Burger a little bit, which I'll live with. We can still be friends, but living that good life in California and absolutely working your butt off. And I have so much respect for you. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your such a busy schedule to hang out with me.
You're really kind. Oh, my phone going nuts. So you're really kind, and I love your audience, and the interactions have been great. And yeah, let's do this again. And thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Let's do a follow-up sometime. That will be absolutely great. Guys, in the chat, I did drop one last NFT for you guys, just a little extra sprinkle of zest. Thank you so much, guys, for coming out. I see Waxy Packs. Congrats on the ballet wallet. I'll get you set up with Bitcoiner later. Randy Bitcoiner, thank you so much. You're the best. Tech, JMac, Tom Allen, our previous winner. Matt, oh hi Matt, how are you? Miguel, we have M Dam Or from Twitch. Welcome, friend. Amara, Mark, Cody, JMac, Emma. Oh my gosh, there's so many amazing people. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. I hope you guys have a happy Friday, a great weekend. And as always, don't forget, guys, to stay zesty. Peace.
Take care.
Good morning, crypto Twitter is Misty Crypto, spreading crypto with Dr. showing its benefits to my generation.